Pachuco realities will only make sense if you grasp their stylization. It was a secret fantasy for Vivato, living in or out of the Pachucada, to put on the Zoot suit and play the myth. Más chucote que la chingada. Pues órale!
Nice report. And start. Okay, so thank you for taking time to come out with me. I really appreciate it. So first off, would you like to tell the camera your name, a little bit about yourself?
My name is Felipe Treviño, born in November 13, 1958, in the city of San Benito, Texas.
San Benito, Texas. Okay, this is my father. So we're doing a project on the Zoot rides, and part of the Zoot rides is involving the Pachuco subculture. You're familiar with the Pachuco subculture?
Correct.
Okay. So I just want to ask you some general information. How do you define what a Pachuco is?
Well, a Pachuco is, back in my time, we didn't use the word Pachuco. We used the word more like Cholo, and now they added the word PA to Pachuco,
Okay.
which is the same thing. But back then in my time, it was more like,
So you guys never referred to yourselves as Pachucos?
it was more like, not Pachuco, but they took away the PA and said Chuco.
Okay.
¿Qué pasó, Chuco? Now it's ¿Qué pasó, Pachuco? Like, what's up?
Okay. Can you tell us more about like what was it like growing up in Texas among other Pachucos, like your clique guys and all that?
Well, first of all, coming from the Rio Grande Valley, which is right next to the international border, which is Matamoros, which is Mexico, of course. 90% are Hispanics. So being so close to the border, even if you were an American citizen, they would think that you are a Mo, M-O, which to their meaning would be mojado, which means in English translate to wetback.
Wetback.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's racism. So I want
Very racist.
So the Zoot rides is obviously a racist event. You
Yes.
know, white Marines and sailors and all that.
Correct.
Can you tell us anything about any racism that you saw in the Valley of Iron?
Of course, it was pretty much more with the Anglo population and the Hispanic population. Because being, again, so close to the border, they assumed right away that if you're Hispanic with greasy hair or long sideburns and wearing Stacey Adams, which is the pointy shoes,
Yeah.
or khakis, the brown pants back then, right away they would thought that you are a cholo, you are a Pachuco, you are a gangster.
Was there any times that you specifically encountered racism towards yourself?
Of course, during my school in junior high, it was more again because of the way you dressed or the way you. In Texas, we use what you call Spanglish. But we call it Tex-Mex because we'll say things like, "Hey, how are you doing?" and then it'll go into vato or ese or whatever. So we use like English, Spanish, but there was no one sentence that would be finished in English. It would be both.
Makes sense. Okay. So returning back to the Pachuco subculture, you were a Pachuco back in your early youth, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I just want to ask you, what was the dress code like for you and you guys?
The dress code was khakis,
Okay.
Stacey Adams, and long shirts with a tail. But at the same token, we were Stacey Adams, khakis, and our shirt tucked in. It was like we were Pachucos, but with style. With style.
Okay, so how did you feel wearing those clothes? Like, there's got to be a reason why you went into that.
I wanted to blend with the rest of my words that we used back then was with my carnales, with my homies, with my S's, with my clique of our neighborhood. Because we're different neighborhoods, but that's how we dress and to make sure that we all looked similar to our code.
So you mentioned neighborhoods. Was there a certain neighborhood you belonged to?
Yes, we belong to La Moyen Garden, which is considered a project, and then you have other like 421s or La Buena Vida or whatever area you came from. It had a certain clique name, if you want to call it that.
Do you think there's like a certain point in time that you were aware that you were a Pachuco? Like,
Oh yes, from I think from the age of, I would say 13 to the age of 17.
17.
Yeah.
And were you the only one in your family that was a Pachuco?
No, my brother Robert, that passed on at a young age, but it was Robert and myself. My older brother kind of
Yeah.
didn't want to be part of us.
Is there anything you could talk about, if you feel comfortable, about Uncle Robert and his relation to you being a Pachuco?
Well, he was a very big role model for me as to, you can dress like a Pachuco, but you don't have to commit crime like a Pachuco.
Okay.
We used to use two terminologies: gang member or gang banger. We were more like members, but we didn't belong. We didn't commit crimes. We were just trying to look smooth and handsome, if you want to call it that.
So at the age of 17, if I'm correct, you enlisted in the Marines.
Correct.
Why did you enlist?
It was time to make a change within my lifestyle for my own, for me. I feel that this was the right age to join and grow up to be a better person.
When you did finish boot camp, did you still consider yourself a Pachuco in the Marines?
Well, when I graduated from boot camp, I still went back there wearing my pants kind of low, but now it's more with pride because I was showing off my Marine Corps uniform. Like, hey, if I can make it, you can make it. Because my best friend went in with me, but did not make it. He just felt like no one tells this man what to do, what to say, or any of that nonsense. And unfortunately, you gotta grow up and I understand that, hey, everyone has a boss in this world.
Okay. Was that friend, was he a Pachuco as well? Or?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
so you guys were all part of the same little clique.
Correct.
Okay. So you, just to reiterate, you didn't consider yourself a Pachuco once you finished the boot camp?
No.
Okay.
It was I was a new person, a new man. I was changed to be, to represent myself as a law-abiding citizen.
Okay. So these pictures right here, these are you in the Marine Corps. I just want to understand what changed your mentality from being a Pachuco in Texas to moving to California and being a Marine.
Pride, being that I came from a family of Marines, I wanted to follow into their footsteps, and that's what I did. I went from being a cholo / Pachuco to a young man that wanted to wear a uniform with pride and honor, and to come to a different state and have a better life.
And so I'm just curious, did you feel any sense of pride when you were like a Pachuco in this photo? Like,
Of course.
Wasn't there a sense of pride being a Pachuco?
Of course, you do have pride because you're a young man and thinking that you know it all,
Yeah.
and that nothing's gonna change till you finally realize that, hey, as you get older, you will change. That's just a fact of life. You can't be a Pachuco all your life.
Yeah.
You can if you choose to, but that's not life.
Okay.
That's not life.
Do you-
Because
Yeah.
there's people that I do know still, there are Pachucos, but also are law-abiding citizens. I've seen friends that are actually still Pachucos, but yet they're police officers or Marines or in a club of lowriders. So yeah, you can be in a certain kind of what would you call it, not a gang, but of a group,
Okay.
but necessarily mean that you are a gangster and committing crimes.
So I consider the Pachuco image a sort of uniform. Do you think there's two different sets of pride when you look at those two photos? Like different feelings of pride, like Marine and then being a...
Of course, because it's like a job.
Okay.
You know, I was a Cub Scout,
Yeah.
I was a Boy Scout, and yet I was a Pachuco. And yes, as I got older, I still wanted to dress like them in special events.
Okay.
But as you get older, people go their separate ways, and everybody changes.
So now, fast forward, I come into the picture.
Uh-huh.
Me, I'm a Pachuco. I know we bumped heads a lot when I was like a little one. When I was in high school. How did it feel to see me wearing similar clothes that you used to wear back in the day? Whether it was my Dickies, my flannels all buttoned up. How did that make you feel seeing me?
I personally,
Be totally honest.
I personally took it as you will learn as I did in different times. Of course, you have different cultures, same words, just different dress codes. I would see you with, let's say, with flannels and jeans. Me would be not flannel, but it would be khaki pants, Stacey. Nobody wears Stacey Adams nowadays.
Yeah.
But I still, even at my age, I still wear Stacey Adams.
Okay.
But with a better dress code. So when people see me, they'll see the Stacey Adams, but they'll see it at the clothes that I wear now.
So I do remember myself wearing khakis. The Dickies or khakis?
Yes, same thing, just different brand.
So you didn't feel a sense of pride when you saw me dressing like that?
I just, it wasn't pride. It was more like, I didn't want you to be joining a group of being with the wrong crowd that commit crimes. Because just because you dress in a certain way doesn't mean that you're a bad person.
Okay.
It means that that's just the way you love to dress. But with time, I knew that you would change because cultures change. Every 10 years, you see different dress codes.
Okay, so I'm 24 now.
Correct.
Go to college, criminal justice, all that jazz.
Correct.
I'm still wearing the same clothes.
Exactly.
So how has your mentality, like your viewpoint changed on me now?
That
Even though I still dress the same as I did when I was like a little knucklehead, but now I'm me, but I still wear the same clothes.
because as you went through the age, 14, 15, 16, all the way up to 24, even though you dress the same way in so many ways, yet I know for a fact that you don't belong to a gang, that you don't affiliate with gang members. You could be friends with people that belong to certain gangs, but they respect you so much that they know that that's my boy, that's my buddy, that's my friend, but he's not part of La Clica or the gang. He just affiliates with us because we're friends from childhood. So your dress code, I know for a fact that doesn't make you to be a bad person. Now, in the other people that don't know you might say, that guy belongs to a gangs. As I explained, when I was growing up, just because I dressed like a cholo with Stacey Adams and khakis, I wasn't a bad person. I was still going to school.
But you were treated as...
But I was treated because of what they saw. They made quick judgments without getting to know me.
Okay, so I'm gonna just take a guess here.
Uh-huh.
Would you say that that feeling, you didn't want that for me?
Correct.
You roped in with the bad crowd, even if I wasn't?
Correct.
Okay.
Because people tend to look at a person and right away make a quick judgment and assume, that's the biggest word, they assume that, oh, look at the way he dresses. He must be a gang member. Vice versa, they see a girl, oh, look at her. She must be a prostitute. No. Our dress code doesn't make us, should not never make no one think that we are bad people.
So for me, I started dressing even more classy. I bought a pair of Stacey's. I got the fedoras. I got the button-down shirts. I tuck it in and everything.
Correct.
Now, so when I found these photos, I felt a sense of pride calling myself a Pachuco because this is you.
Correct.
So when I look at my father, when I look at me, I see you.
Correct.
The original Pachuco. Is that safe to say?
Yes.
So I just wanted to ask you, how does it make you feel to know that your son is a Pachuco?
Well, again, because I know you and I know the route that you're taking because you have gone through all your education from elementary to middle to high school to college to a university. Your dress code does not make me think that it is wrong the way you dress.
Okay.
Because for one thing, you are 24. For two is, I know you better than anyone else. Is the people should always say, instead of assuming, let me try out this guy, see what kind of a person he is.
Okay. How does it feel? How does it make you feel when I say that seeing this part of you makes me feel proud? How does that make you feel? That I'm proud of this part of your life, not just the Marine Corps, not just all that, but your days as a Pachuco.
that it makes you feel good because it makes me feel that you have studied my growing as your dad, because I've always said anyone can be a father in this world. Being a dad is you set the example, but no one's perfect. But if you see these pictures, and you know for a fact that that's me at 15, younger than you at 24, that hey, he's been studying me. He knows where I come from. He knows who I am. He knows what I am. He knows what I have become. And that's the most important thing when it comes to a son and having a father figure, vice versa, a son figure, is that you know where you come from and where you're at this moment in life.
Yeah, because when everybody asks me, like, why do you do all this? I'm like, it's because of my dad.
Yeah.
My dad and his brothers.
Yeah.
And my brothers were Pachucos too, but that's totally different story.
Correct.
They went down a really bad path.
Correct.
I'm doing it different. So I just want to ask you also, the clothes is a big part of the Pachuco subculture. There's the language and then there's the clothes. Obviously the cars nowadays, but it was the clothes. That was like their uniform.
Correct.
Would you ever consider yourself dressing that way again, even at your age at 60?
65.
65.
This Monday, November 3rd, I'll be 65. And yes, sometimes I still wear my Stacey Adams that I have at home at this particular moment.
Okay.
And I do have khakis, and I dress with the same clothes wear. It's just that I'm older, and I wear those clothes instead of behind my hips, they're up by my hips with my shirt tucked in, a nice haircut, because of my personal pride that I have in my personal appearance.
So you wouldn't feel the same sense of pride you did when you were a kid, huh? If you wore the same clothes as at your age now?
No, because
You grew out of it, you think?
yes, and I think that's with everyone else. You know, you grow out of a lot of things because your life changes in so many ways. You become a teenager, to become a young man, to become a older man, and become a family man, and of course, if you have to change,
Yeah.
it's just part of life.
So I want to ask you, the feeling that you felt when you was a kid, the whole you were criminalized. You know, you were blamed for being a part of a gang, even though you may not have been at the time.
Correct.
Just because of the way you dress. Do you think that fear is still in you? If you were to wear those clothes you did today, would you have that thought in the back of your head, like, I hope they don't think I'm a thug or a gangster? You think that's what stops you? I'm just trying to understand.
No, it wouldn't be fear. It would just be like, why would I want to give them that feeling, that self, what you call the word? That self. I'm looking for the right word. The self-satisfaction that they want. I wouldn't want to give them that satisfaction of, yep, I told you he was, even at his age, he's still a member of some gang. When in reality, I'm a law-abiding citizen and a good one. Because I don't break the law.
Yeah, you have a pretty straight record.
Very straight. Very straight. From the time I joined the Marine Corps to the present, I've not committed a crime. I'm just a good person, man.
So one of my final questions is, after all we talked about, understanding the Pachuco subculture, understanding the racism in the Zoot riots, like, you're familiar with the Zoot riots, right?
Yes.
Would you still consider yourself a Pachuco today? Like right now, if I asked you, like, do you consider yourself Pachuco, what would be your answer?
Maybe not a Pachuco, but a homeboy of my friends. Because I still have a few friends that we all grew up together. And, you know, if I can share that, there was like 11 of us that were so close. And out of those 11, there's like 4 of us left. And we all have the same love tattoo. Because
you can show the camera.
I don't know if you can see it, but it was the same love tattoo. Ugly tattoo, but we all have it. Or the heart with the ribbon. We all 11 of us had the same thing. So whenever we saw each other, it's like, you were part of us.
So that's funny you bring up tattoos.
Yeah.
Because you already know about mine.
Correct.
I got the Pachuco skull.
Yes.
In honor of you.
Correct.
Because you have the skull.
Correct.
How do you feel about that? No.
That yours is better than mine because mine was just homemade by some one of my friends. I said, let me do that.
Want to share the process?
Yeah, but let me tell you, it's not good.
It's a little different.
I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, that's professional. This is like, all right, man, you're next.
Do you want to tell us how that happened with the tattoo?
Well, it happened with, hey, we're just sitting around, not having a beer, but having a Pepsi. And we feel like, hey, we all should have a tattoo that looks pretty much similar. It was a skull. Looks like a skull, but in reality, I have no idea that's a skull, but because it's missing teeth and all that good stuff. But we all have it.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe the tattoo's ugly, but when I look at it, it reminds me of my childhood.
So that's why you never wanted to get it lasered off.
Correct, my friends. And believe me, a lot of people have told me, love, a heart and a ribbon, a skull. I said, and I have been offered free laser removal. But by me removing this small, not so pretty tattoos, is like removing away all my childhood. That I refuse, because that is who I was. Not who I am, who I was, but all of my friends became.
You can't let go.
We cannot let go. It's just something that stays with you.
So would it be safe to say that even though you don't consider yourself Pachuco now, there's still a little part in you that wants to hold on to
Of course,
that ideal dream?
It would be a lie if I said no. Yes, because when I go back to the valley as a grown man and I see my friends as a grown man, it's like for that few hours that we're together, it's like we're talking like when we were 17. So, and then we realize all of us are family, man. We have grown ass children. They're already married, but for that moment, it's like we go back in time. And then when we go our separate ways again, we go back to our time, which is now. Because you can never let go of something that you were from. You can never forget it. And you can never go back to that time. It doesn't mean that you have to erase your whole childhood. You can always remember it and say, hey, you know what? I was proud of who I was back then, because it taught me a lot of lessons of life itself.
Yeah.
And here I am. So something must have been good.
You never wanted to pass down the subculture, huh? Because I found out on my own. I went dating in the crib when you went home.
Yeah.
You never really wanted to pass down that part of you?
Any more blankets?
No, because I think my sons was, whatever they saw in me as they were growing, it would automatic. Some of them would blend in, and some of them would not blend in. In other words, what I mean by that is they will grasp to something that they like that I don't like, vice versa, that maybe I do like, but I will not tell them I like.
So do you have anything else to say regarding the Zoot rise, racism in America, the Pachuco subculture?
Well, I can tell for a fact that I'll be 65 this Monday. Racism will always be there. It's been there. It's never gonna go away, because that's part of human nature. Because we have different races that believe in different things. They believe in their own culture, like I believe in my culture. Even though all of us are American in some way, you can never stop racism, hate, or discrimination. It's always been there, and it's always gonna be there. That's just the way society is. Some people might say, I'm not racist. All of us are racist in some shape or form. All of us have hate in some shape or form. It's just sometimes we show it in the wrong way, and we don't think about it until after the fact. Because a lot of us use words that's degrading and disrespectful to some races, yet we won't use the N word or the Mo word, but when you're by yourself with your friends, you tend to hear those words a lot.
So is that internal racism? Like, so
Yes.
were you guys racist to your own? Like, do you think that
Yes, I had a lot of friends that were born in the same city as I was, and whenever they saw a fellow Hispanic, Mexican, my friends would always say, hey, do you think he's a Mo? And I would respond, dude, but you're Mexican. Your mom is from Mexico. Your dad is from Texas. Like in my case, my dad's a Texan, born here, My mom was from Mexico. So when I heard my own friends say, "Yo, Mo, are you a Mo?" I would say, "Why would you even ask that? He's a Mexican." Remember the terminology: Mexican, Chicano. There was some people have no idea what Chicano means, what Mexican means. So if you ask me, what are you? I would say, I'm a Mexican, I'm a Chicano, I'm an American, because I was born in this soil. But I'm not going to forget where my mother came from, which was Mexico, or where my dad was born, which was Texas. So I look at it this way: I'm an American slash Chicano slash Mexican. Every individual has the right to say, it's like I have a lot of black friends nowadays. They will say, why do people say that I'm from African American? I am from Africa. I was born in Houston.
Okay.
You get my point?
Yeah.
So, that's why you will never see me or hear me say, hey, I just saw my friend from African American. No, I just saw Earl, but he's from Louisiana.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not gonna say that my African American friends. No,
So did you refer to yourselves as Hispanics, Latinos, Chicanos?
Chicanos.
Chicanos? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Chicanos and I think that's the way people think when they're at a younger age, because we don't know better. We're just we're living minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, week, month, year. And as you get older, you're getting more mature into what life is all about, and you get wiser. Unfortunately, some people get not too wise,
Okay.
but they go the wrong direction. I have a lot of friends that I lost because they thought that there's no need for me to change. I'll just live this kind of life all my life. Well, unfortunately, they didn't make it.
Okay.
It was a bad choice.
Well, thank you. I think we reached the end of it. Thank you for sharing. This is Felipe Treviño. It's my father, Pachuco from Texas. No longer a Pachuco. He was a Marine, law enforcement. He did all kinds of stuff. But do you give me permission to share this from our assignment?
Of course, I think that if this is shared with fellow students or whoever, I hope that always remember that you become what you want to become. No one can change you but yourself. You will be whatever you choose to be. It ain't gonna be easy. You need to work hard to conquer whatever your goal is. And because all of us have what you call future goals, but no one's gonna take you there. But your hard work will take you there. And you can ask any professor, you can ask any teacher, you can ask anyone in this world. To get to the top of the mountain, you must work your behind, because it's not given to you. Everything that I have ever had, no one has given me anything. I have earned it through sacrifice, through hard work, and I am fortunate to. It's been a privilege for me to get to the age that I'm getting to. That I hope that I wake up Monday morning and say, 65. Let me tell you, a lot of my friends did not make it to this age, or last year, or the year before. Maybe some of my friends didn't even make it to 20. It's sad, but it's the truth. The life that you choose to live is a life that, always remember this: God gave you life, but you must choose life as an individual, not as a group, as an individual, and pass on your wisdom to whoever comes upon you in your life.
Please. Thanks, Bob. All right.
Thank
That's
you.
it. Thank you guys, and
Thank you.
we'll cut the video. All right, cool. Thanks. So we're back. So we just sat down, and then my father wanted to mention some information that was left out of the interview. I figured that was some really interesting stuff that I would love for him to talk about. Now that we're a little bit more relaxed, he kind of gets the idea. Could you please tell us, what is Gatesville?
Gatesville is a juvenile institute.
Okay.
It's like a boys' ranch. Okay, and I was sent there by my probation officer.
Before we go any further, probation officer,
Yes.
what did you do to even get to this point? If you don't mind sharing.
Not at all. I wanted a pair of Stacey Adams so bad that I was going through a store named back then Payless. Of course, it's closed. Me and my friend broke the window, and we went in there, took a pair of Stacey Adams, and unfortunately we wore them, but we forgot to take the tag off. So of course, here we are with Stacey Adams with the Payless tags under, and you get arrested.
Okay.
And the Judge Lester, what's his name, decided that we're gonna send you to a boys' ranch.
Okay, so
And we did.
boys ranch, Gatesville, a reformatory. What was it like? You was a Pachuco there, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what was that like going through Gatesville as a Pachuco in Texas?
That you had to adjust because in Gatesville, you had all these different races that belonged to different gangs there. And Gatesville was considered different schools. For example, the Valley, Sycamore, Hilltop, Rose Garden. Every school had a different name. And so we all fought against each other thinking we're the best. Even though we belong to Gatesville Detention, we all belong to different schools. So you had to represent Valley, Sycamore, Miramar, Hilltop.
And who do you represent?
The Sycamore.
Sycamore?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you get into any trouble in Gatesville?
Of course. There you had to fight every single day. It was a challenge because from playing basketball to running to claiming the school as, let's call it, the top gun. You're in charge of your group, your school. So in order to get to that, you have to challenge the person that's running, per se, the school. So how you would do it, you would go and challenge him. Hey, I'll call you for the school. What that means is that I want to fight you for the right to be in charge so that everyone listens to me and not you.
So did you do that?
Yes, I did.
Tell us about it.
And his name was Mike Chavarria. I still remember him from Beeville, Texas. And he was just sitting on the sofa. And I walked up to him and I straight up said, hey, Mikey, in Spanish, te canto por la escuela, which translates to, I'm calling you out to take over the school.
Okay.
And we did. I won. And I became let's call it the boss of our school.
No. Okay.
Yes, you could call it that.
Okay.
And I'll give you a good example of the powers that we had. If as childish as it sounds, as crazy as it sounds from back then, we'll go through the chow hall and I would just say things like, no one's gonna eat today just because I feel like it. I would just say things that will make you laugh nowadays because it's crazy. I would just say like, for example, I'll give you an idea. I'll walk down the line of the food and I would just say like, that's it. It's dumb, crazy, funny, but no one would eat because
What would happen if someone ate?
they would get jumped on. In Gatesville, you would fight someone, but the moment it hits on the ground, you are not allowed to hit the person. You cannot hit him. You have to wait till he gets up. He gets up.
So what was it, like body shots or?
It was called chest and ribs. No face. Chest and ribs.
Okay.
And kicks right here on your what do you call it? Your femur.
You guys fought by kicking.
By kicking. And we were fast. I mean, 2 kicks would take you down. That's how fast it was. Okay. And even I would tell people right now that if I want to put all my Stacey Adams at home, I'd be kicking like a mattress. See how fast I am? And I still have the speed.
Okay.
I just don't kick nobody else no more.
The delinquent stuff is very interesting because
It is.
He was talking to me off camera in the couch,
Yes.
and I figured we can bring it back to the table.
Yes, of course.
Is there any other delinquents, wild stuff that you was doing back in Texas?
Yeah, I learned that when this person came and challenged me for the school, and I didn't want to give it up, I learned from fellow juvenile that, listen, if you want to beat this guy, get real close. For what I said, get real close And the moment that he's talking, of course, your tongue is moving. So you take a one uppercut shot as hard as you can, and trust me, it'll be over. And I say, how's it gonna be over? Trust. So that's what I did. The guy that challenged me for the school got real close, and as he's talking, I did exactly what that friend said. I clocked him with an uppercut. The moment that I did, it cut his tongue. And that was the end of it. It was the most ugly feeling because of the smell of the blood of the tongue. It's just something that
How were you able to smell the blood? Were you like?
I was right next to him, and when one punch, that's all. And it was like, it's a smell that I can't describe. It's just awful. But I will tell you that after spending there almost 3 years.
So 3 years, continuous.
Yes. My case manager, which I'll never forget, Mr. Smith, said, you're about to leave this juvenile hall, this facility. And if you don't change, you're not coming back here no more. You're going to go to the big house. So you need to change your life around. And when I got out, that's exactly what I did. I changed my life around. And I enlisted.
So that was it for your Pachuco days.
That was it right there. So I would lie to you if I don't tell you that I don't wear Stacey Adams no more, which I do. I would lie to you if I said I don't wear khakis no more, because I still do. It's just that I'm a lot older, and of course you get more mature as you get older.
It's a different mixture of the stuff.
It's a difference.
So would you say you still wear that uniform? It's just slightly altered.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, because you don't hang around with the same friends, and you're not in the same place you were back then.
Okay.
And you're now a father figure, or a husband figure, or just a man figure.
Okay, so before we go back to the couch, is there any other exciting stories from your Pachuco days that you would like to share before, just to give the viewers something to, anything before we go back?
No, that was
Oh, yeah, the Marine, thank you. Before we go, the Marines. Topic still on racism.
Yes.
So you got out of Gatesville.
Yes.
Enlisted.
Correct.
Was there any racism you faced in the Marine Corps that might have, kind of twisted you around?
Yes, because in the military you still have racism and you still have discrimination, and that will never go away. It won't, because even when I was in the Marine Corps at the age of 18, I still had my hair slick back. And it was so slick that I thought that it's still me, just a different uniform.
So they didn't cut your hair, or did they?
At the beginning they did.
But you let it grow back.
Well, you don't let it grow to the regulations,
okay.
Right? But keep in mind that how you stand with your own persona.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by that is how you conduct yourself, how you dress, how you talk, how you walk, how you look. It's what people look at, and that's how people make judgments or decisions. And sometimes they get the wrong impression.
Was there any? Can you tell us any racist stuff that happened, like racism that you encountered, like towards you, towards your Marines? Like,
well, there was a lot of, in the beginning there was a lot of verbal abuse, and I'm talking about bad verbal abuse, and that starts in boot camp. I'm talking about from, where's your mama? I'm your mama. I'm your daddy. Yeah. And I just came from your mama's house. Stuff like so degrading, so disrespectful that in their mind as drill instructors, they're trying to break you from being a youth and becoming a man.
I'm talking about like verbal insults directed towards your race.
Yes, of course.
Being a child. Can
you will hear words like, "Come here, stick."
Okay.
"Come here, wetback." Now I'm gonna turn into a real American and stuff like that. So yeah, it does exist. Okay. Always has and always will.
And you were hearing this up towards you.
Of course.
How did that make you feel, being called a
very bad? Very bad, because here I am trying to change my life around, and yet I see that people that are wearing the same uniform that I'm wearing are still showing a lot of hate.
Did you feel like you kind of regretted it once you went into?
Yes, yes. I almost went UA, unauthorized absence, but I felt that, Huh?
Can you tell about your mentality at that point?
I
What
was
were you considering?
I was so hurt and offended that I really wanted to just go home. But that's easy. And I said, no, I cannot give them the pleasure that I'm going to quit just because they say quit. No.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I did not quit.
Yeah, I'm saying you don't regret it now.
No, not once.
Okay.
No. I am who I am because I choose to be who I am. Not what people want me to be, but what I choose to be. Me.
So you don't really take that personally, the whole racism that you face?
No, I outgrew that. Nowadays, if somebody,
Does it bother you, like, thinking
of
back
course,
then now?
of course, it will bother me, because, like I said, when someone verbally abuses you with words, which that's what it means, yeah, you take it personal. Like, why are you calling me this? You don't even know me.
Yeah.
You know of me, but you don't know me.
For your favorite quote of you.
That's my favorite quote.
Okay.
So when people say, "I know you," no, you don't. You know of me because I'm a name, but you don't know me.
Okay. Any other exciting stories from Texas?
No,
Fights you got into as a Pachuco? Is that it?
no. No, I think my last fight was at Sycamore School in Gatesville, Texas. Now Gatesville does not exist.
It doesn't. Yeah. It's
What
not.
does exist is Hilltop, but Hilltop is now a prison for women. 'Cause that's where Selena's killers at, Yolanda Salvador is at. So now it is a women prison. The other schools, the Valley, Sycamore, Miramar, all those are now just properties where people build their homes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's only one prison there.
Okay. Well, thank you for telling us that exciting story. I think we're good now. We're good.
I think we're good.
All right.
And for the viewers, can I say something or not?
Go for it. We'll see you later.
Well, for the viewers is that make the right choice, make the right decision, because whatever decision or choice you make in life, it's only gonna benefit you, not the world.
All right. Felipe Treviño, everybody. Original Pachuco in Texas, Marine, hard worker, father, husband. Thank you so much. And I think that's it for this interview.
Work, yeah.
All right. Thank you. I've said all that I can say, and I've shown you all that I happen to know. You have heard my father's case, and you have seen the atrocities of America's patriotic grace. Racism transcends. Well, that's true. The Pachuco never dies. Now, that's a certainty. I am living proof that you couldn't kill the Pachuco bastard. You see, I'm one of the baddest Pachucos in the whole O-side, but not because I carried a switchblade and took no shit. Not because I was affiliated through a bloodline. And not because my daddy says I look like the thugs in the movies, which is also kind of bullshit. Now, you see, I'm one of the baddest vatos in the whole O-side because I broke down the walls they built for my father. I became a scholarly hood who escaped what the neighborhood had to offer. And now I return to similar neighborhoods to teach the little patitos and essas about La Raza. And I stride through these campus halls with the sounds of doo-wop and rock and roll in my ear. A Pachuco studying criminal justice. Damn. One can't help but laugh at that irony. But don't trip, Holmes. See, I'm here for you when the system fails you, to guide you rather than punish you, to ease your mind when you see me walk out that court office or school hallway, to greet you with a dap and a nod, to let you know I'm with you. I'm here to show you that I'm one of you and that I see you. Those clothes that I wear are a badge of honor, a walking symbolic artifact of those troubled times. When I slick my hair back, I am reminded of the knife cutting through my ancestors' pompous ways. When I put on those clothes, I am reminded of how you peeled their image. It is a privilege to don the clothes of a Pachuco. It is an honor to have them tatted on my arm, a reminder of the resilience and resistance it takes to be a Pachuco. Shit. I never told y'all, huh? I never told you, by the way. What do I see when I catch a glimpse of me? I see a man chasing after his father's dream. And I see a man searching for a culture, something to call his own, something to belong to. I see a man following the music, just searching for their place in this great wide world as they beep up down the road trying to get home. But most of all, I see my dad. I see an extraordinary vato embodying the myth, trying to be something other than ordinary. Trying to be extraordinary. That's all.